Hello, welcome to PS with Jen. I am Jennifer Powell, the owner and lead injector at Powell Studio in Hanover, Mass. I have been so excited to share this opportunity of podcasting and sharing information. So thank you so much if you've been listening and supporting and asking questions that are driving the conversation. Keep them coming. We have an important topic today, and I'm excited to dive right in. This conversation is really important, and I think it's something that people are really struggling navigating. I'm noticing it on social media, moms groups, people asking questions and trying to understand, is my investment really what it's supposed to be? And I can see why each of you are curious about this, and I wanted to really break down the different ways to look at things. Not that you're going to understand the entire business, but I don't want to bore you with that, but I want you to understand the opportunities that as aesthetic providers we have to provide quality over quantity and to have larger profitability versus not. So at Powell Studio, I am grateful to use top-notch products such as Galderma products. I am using a lot of Restylane brands and Dysport and Sculptra. We use a lot of RHA, Redensity, and RHA 2, 3, and 4. We use Daxxify and are so excited to have these in our portfolio. I have been a Juvederm user in the past. We are currently using Botox in our space, and we use a lot of Radiesse. So these are 4 different companies that I purchase from, I have accounts with. I know that what I am receiving for products from them are 100% manufactured. For efficacy, they are checked, and they ensure good quality products that are safe for them to be used. And so just this morning, I received and shared an email, and I also received many communications through social media of purchasing products that are not from the actual manufacturer. So they're from a third party. They're trying to resell or redistribute similar products, maybe a little bit of a different packaging, maybe they're shipping from somewhere else. There's a lot of different opportunities, a lot of overseas, a lot of out of the country, but they want to entice me to save money in my business. And so if any of you are business owners, I know you understand overhead, and there is important overhead and there's frivolous overhead. And I try to be so careful with every penny we spend here at the office, because I don't want it to reflect my prices. I don't want it to be, oh, I'm spending $1 million on extra goodies that we don't need to drive good results, and for you guys to feel like you need to overpay for your treatment in order to support that. My goal is to have a clean, effective, well-insured, well-educated staff, and to be able to drive products that are coming directly from manufacturers, so that I know that you are not going to end up with any of these crazy, devastating outcomes of, the people are putting third world country product into people's buttocks for butt enlargements, butt injections, and they're having necrosis, they're having dead tissue, they're losing parts of their, place where this product was placed. The skin is necrotic, and it's scarring, and it's lifelong. And these are things that if the price is looking too good, run. We all have to start somewhere. So I know that there is an opportunity for some injectors and some providers as they're getting started to leave, a lower price tag on there, but there's a reason. So think a little bit more about when you are choosing a provider, not necessarily shopping on the Groupon or looking for the deal when it comes to this aesthetic world, because there is a lot of fear, a lot of people popping up on every corner, which I'm excited about because there is a need and there are so many people who are interested, and there is so much evolving. The information is endless. So these are all good things, but they also create some fear because there are people who are not as committed, not following, what the IFN is saying. The iSpan is so important in supporting us as far as what is coming down the pipeline, We have AmSpa, who teaches us about the legal resources. We have so many important programs that we are following research. We are following great outcomes and research-driven plans and receiving certifications because we are really passionate and really thoughtful and take this position and this role very seriously. We are medical providers, and we have received degrees and certifications and all of these really important things to be able to ensure safe delivery of treatments that you are requesting and that will drive improvement of symptoms that are bothering you. But I see on the moms groups, I think I'm overpaying for my Botox, or I think I'm overpaying for my Dysport. There are different units and different numbers of syringes and different things that are being taken into consideration. So don't feel as if you're necessarily overpaying. I want to make sure that you know what your provider's goals are. There's always a range depending on where you live. And, I know the range on the South Shore here is about $12 to $16 to $17 a unit. And so the only reason units exist is because of Groupon. They needed something to measure. We always talk in here about outcomes. We want to treat in the rule of threes. We want to have everything be natural and more holistic because everything is in sync. So instead of talking about units, we talk about outcomes. And so there is a range, and there are different opportunities that the manufacturers that we purchase from, they will give us memberships that you guys can be part of rewards programs. We also have a VIP program here at Powell Studio. There are different ways that you can budget and save and be organized, but getting a deal in the aesthetic world never ends up a deal. I erase a lot of things that are happening when people go and look for the deal, and you think it's expensive to do it the first time. Wait till you have to dissolve it, if it's even dissolvable. And it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it's not something that you really want to have to do if you can prevent it. And so when you have to dissolve it and maybe even start over, you're paying 2, 3, 4 times the price instead of doing it right from the beginning. And so when someone comes in for a consultation, I'll teach them about, hey, this is what that looks like as far as pricing, and have them look at a year's plan. And maybe if they don't get started today, that's okay, but they know what's going to still drive a good outcome as far as a treatment plan. So I never leave it out. I know some providers may be fearful. Had a woman come in today and say, how come this is so different? I think she was underdosed before, and people are going into a provider and saying, this is what I want. And can you just sprinkle a little? Well, dose equals duration. And if you are under treating, you are still paying a lot of money for a half of a result, and it's going to last half as long, and it's never going to be complete, and you're still spending a lot of money. So go to a provider where, yes, you can be heard. It's really important for us to understand your goals and your aesthetic outcomes that you are looking to drive, but we need to be able to be confident enough to make a recommendation that is in your best interest, and not be so fearful about keeping the lights on that we need to do 1 syringe on you or put a baby amount of Botox in you that really is not going to drive a long-term outcome that's in your long-term interest. I'm thinking not only about today, but years to come, that you are still loving what you have for treatments in here, that your outcomes are good. And when I receive all of these emails and these outreaches on social media, Instagram and Facebook to purchase these counterfeit products or, refurbished products. I don't even know what's in the bottles. They may be resealed. There might be something else in there. I can't guarantee it because they're not coming from the manufacturer. And I know they're targeting people that they think are vulnerable, to want to keep their doors open, to want to stay afloat. This is an expensive overhead. It is a lot of money to invest every month. My products are, anywhere between 30 and sometimes 50% of the procedure I'm doing. That is not paying the staff that's doing it. That is not paying for the liability insurance, the education it took me to get to be able to do this treatment, not paying any payroll, the rent, all the other things. So when you're searching for pricing, you need to be looking at the bigger picture. Think about your provider. Think about the cleanliness and the risk that they might be purchasing something that is less expensive because they aren't injecting as often. They aren't in a space where they can afford to pay these larger amounts to these companies that are well reputable and build up the ability to have more competitive pricing as they become more experienced. So I hope that this was helpful. I know I'm watching all the time, listening to parents and listening to other moms about, searching a unit or searching a price. We get it on our calls all the time, and we don't want to deter you. We just want good outcomes. We want for you to understand where that's coming from. Different products have different dosing. So your Botox is, in the middle, about 20 units. Your forehead is anywhere from 10 to 20 units. And your Crows here are anywhere from 12 to, usually an average of 12 units. Well, if you're talking in Dysport units, you need to times that times 2.5. So if I'm treating your 11s, technically in Dysport, that's 50 units. So that's an average amount that is going to go in that area. And, in Daxxify, I'm talking about 40 units in the center here. So there's a totally different reconstitution. People are charging various prices, $4 a unit for Dysport. Well, you need to multiply that by 2.5. So if you're seeing, oh my gosh, that person's only paying $4.50 for their tox and I'm paying $16 a unit, really, they're the same. And so we keep our prices the same across our Botox and Dysport because we know in the long run, it is all working out, and I just want to choose the right product for the right patient. So I hope that this information helped you to understand pricing. It helped you to understand choosing quality providers that are not going to run the risk of getting these counterfeit products to get, lower prices and to save themselves, a bigger profit margin, because it is not worth it in the end. I've seen so many stories and been shared articles and reports of things that are happening all over the world, right here and far and wide, and it is horrifying. So we promise here at Powell Studio to always keep our education up and current and to always stay safe using our excellent providers, our excellent vendors, and working with our reps to drive the best pricing for you so that we can stay competitive and you can stay feeling and looking your best. Until we meet again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please remember to share this with a friend who you think this might be helpful for, and to find the recordings on any podcast platform. You just search PS with Jennifer Powell, or go to our website, www.thepowellstudio.com. Have a great day.